Hello, welcome to Smokin with Swami. I'm Swami Chaitanya, and today we have a special guest, Ash, and he lives in Chennai, and we are actually right outside of Chennai in a very famous place called Mahabalipuram. And we somehow connected with you via internet, and you were watching YouTubes and Swami.
Yeah, we were watching. We Googled, had a good friend, Nicky, MC Vicky, a rapper who obviously he gets his lyrics by Googling, he sometimes just Googles weed.
Yeah.
So that kind of dominoed into a lot of YouTube videos.
I
and
see.
suddenly we ran into Swami Select. And he came to the studio, showed us a whole bunch of videos, and it was very
So you have a radio show, is that right?
Yes.
And it's in English?
It's called the Hashtag Show. It's a wordplay. Hashin.
Oh, many different levels of work,
yes.
because hashtag is a hashtag.
Yes, and hashtag.
And a hashtag, I got it.
So,
So we've been in Chennai. Okay, but see, unfortunately we can't smoke on the show this time because of certain, shall we say, restrictions.
Restriction, yes. As I could tell from my eyes, I'm very sober.
Very sober, yes,
Very
okay.
sober, yes.
All right, the glare in your eyes. I see.
Yes, the glare in my eyes.
But at any rate, so we've been in Chennai, and unfortunately Nikki and I got a little sick, so we haven't been doing as much as we wanted to do. But Chennai is an amazing city now. It's been developing all this new architecture that's happening, and
Yeah, we have McDonald's, we have...
well, that's not what I'm concerned about.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm talking about amazing buildings that I've seen.
Yes.
Just driving
It's
around,
changed,
outrageous
yes, absolutely.
architecture.
And people have grown to understand, you know, what it's like outside Chennai as well. Chennai is it's a safe city. Right now we got something happening on the roads, as you saw outside. The Jallikattu, the protest.
Well, this is something difficult to explain.
No.
There's a sport in Tamil Nadu, South India, which is basically, I guess you'd call it bull wrestling. You say bull hugging.
We call bull fight. Yeah, I call it bull hugging. It's where you.
But the idea is to toss the bull down.
Yeah, it's either to toss the bull, pick it up with one hand, and just like.
No, pick it up with one hand. But anyway,
No, you have to hold the hump.
Hold the hump. Oh, you remember that these cows have
for about 100 yards.
And it's a cow. It's a bull.
It's a bull. Yeah.
Right. And you have to hold on.
You have to hold on for 100 yards.
And that's the contest.
And if you hold on to the hump for 100 yards, you a man.
I see.
Yes.
And this is something that's going on in Tamil Nadu for hundreds and hundreds of years.
Yeah, for very long. Like you have matadors in Spain.
Yeah.
It's just like that.
So what happened is the Supreme Court of India said this is cruelty to animals, and so they put out this ban.
Right.
And believe it or not, I guess some students started to object to it.
Now
and pretty soon it snowballed, and at one point, 2 days ago, there were literally millions of people demonstrating all over South India, all over Tamil Nadu.
Yes, it did. It started off with 50,000 people on the beach, and now there's 600,000.
And as a result, they shut the whole state down. And what was she trying to talk to me about? I couldn't see
about
that.
Weed.
About weed, oh.
Talk about weed.
All right, so I don't know.
Weed in Tamil means house. So when I asked the first people when I came to India, you know where I can get weed? They said, yeah, right here.
House right over.
No, they just showed me a bunch of houses for rent.
I see. So it's kind of difficult to get good weed, as you say here, or cannabis here.
But you get hashish.
You get hashish or charas from the north.
The Manali cream.
The Manali cream. I've had a lot of Manali cream myself.
Yes, the cream. So pasted. They're done with the hand. The hours in the making.
Right. And then there's the Parvati Valley and the Kulu Valley and Manikaran.
A lot of people I feel like it should explain. When you go to Parvati Valley, it's a completely different experience from what people experience out of India in general. Like we're in Mahabalipuram. Parvati Valley is a different vibe.
Well, it's North India to begin with, right?
Yeah.
It's the mountains also, the Himalayas, the highest mountains in the world. It's a different language,
it's
different
quite
culture.
India, like in its own ways, it has tall buildings and whatever. But it's still. I used to make fun of myself as like I came to India to find myself, just like how.
Oh, because you grew up in where did you?
I grew up in England.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah, and so coming to India, it was funny, you know, like when I'm in England, then I go back to India. You go to India, then I go back to England. I'm like, oh my God, what do I do? I'm stuck on the boat. Like, which direction? But India, it helped me also discover myself in a more fuller aspect.
Your roots.
Yeah, like what you're able to think of when you have nothing to do, and what you're able to think of if you do have your schedule's completely packed. Then your mind starts to think of the other importance in family value. India has a lot of that,
Yes,
which
right,
I've learned to grow and love. And along with weed, it comes with I don't know. It's quite it's like it is a medicine in India. A lot of people are worried to talk about it because of obviously the policies and everything.
Right.
India.
But actually, up north in places like Orissa,
Orissa,
you can still
fine.
go to the store and get ganja goalies.
Yes.
Little balls of medicine that you can get.
And the chillums.
And chillum, of course. Yeah. We did one Smoking with Swami on how to smoke a chillum. I don't know if you saw that one.
Nice. So it's the big marble chillum.
Yeah, well, it's not marble, but it's a ceramic. It's a ceramic.
Oh yeah, that's the Italian clay.
Yeah, right, exactly. That one, Lorenzo, I think. Yeah, that's a famous chillum maker.
Yes. In Chennai, they call it chimney.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's called a chimney.
Yeah, so the difference between South India and North India is hard to describe in one or two words, but for one thing, the language down here, Tamil, is a language whose root is what they call Dravidian, right?
Right.
Whereas up north, the root of the language is Sanskrit.
Yeah.
And so the structure and so on, even the alphabets are different.
Yeah, there's over 500 languages.
And like on the rupee note, there's like 10 different alphabets already.
Yeah.
So anyways, India is more like an empire.
Right. Yeah.
Many different cultures struggling to work together and yet also maintain their individuality, right?
Yeah, most definitely. But it's also, it changes each. The more diverse you go. Marijuana is quite a social drug. In India, let's say the most sophisticated bunch, or the crowd that goes out in India, people try to get it's a social drug.
Yes.
Right.
We don't call it a drug, actually.
Oh yeah, it's social. It's social.
Social lubricant.
It's a social lubricant. I said Ayurvedic.
Well, actually, it is.
Yes, it is.
It really is.
It's my garden thing. We had but hope some of the people I've met across the world, mostly in California, have. There's something nice about it. I'd rather be with people that smoke weed instead of drink.
Well, that's for sure. That's for sure. And I think actually,
I think that's partly spiritual as well. That's what India has a lot. And back in the day, they used to put marijuana into a tent and burn it and just sit inside.
Yes, I know.
And
we call it
bang.
Yes.
It's a very like I'm sure you've.
Well, bang is Well, she was famous for making bang.
Yeah.
Bang is basically it's a cannabis smoothie.
Yeah.
Right, and they mix it with rose water and
for Holi.
For Holi, right? And actually, there'll be a situation where they make up this potion with. Sometimes they use ghee, and they heat it up, and they put a little sugar, and they put maybe some other spices and some rose water, and maybe some ilachi, some cardamom, and so on. And then everybody in the whole town will drink it, or else they make a pastry, a cookie from this, and everybody in the whole town.
Yes.
And then they start throwing color on each other.
You've experienced this in India?
Absolutely.
Yeah. I never have.
Yeah, no, I've been up in the mountains where, I was wearing white, and by the end of the day, I am completely covered in pink, red, blue, purple.
Yeah, you can't take that off.
No, the clothes are just ruined and so on.
Yeah.
But actually, it was a mark of honor the more paint you got.
Yeah, and terrible laundry service.
Oh, well, you don't even launder them.
I just sit by the Ganges and I purify it all the time.
Yeah.
I've never seen such, honor when it comes to people, when it comes to dedicated to marijuana in India, like I have seen anywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
And when I've seen a lot of your videos and your experience in India, if people were able to kind of view that more, not just like in certain states like California, I'm saying globally as something, I feel like you'll be able to change the world, and I think that will take Trump.
Well, I keep wanting to emphasize the spiritual dimension of cannabis, and that I don't know. There's even a myth that the seeds of cannabis fell out of the Kumbh at the Kumbh Mela. And fell in the Himalayas, and as a result, they grew cannabis. And so the source of it is the gods and goddesses. The
Ganjama,
Ganjama, sure. Yeah, really. And so it's to be here in India, which is the source actually of cannabis in many ways. It's really, and the fact that up in the north where all the babas, the sadhus, and they smoke, they wake and bake, those guys, you know, they have these chillums and so it's like constant.
It's constant, because it's like being in a trance. It is kind of like a trance in that state the entire time.
Well, yeah, but it's also, you reach this plateau, and we found that out in judging for the Emerald Cup, that you reach a certain plateau of consciousness, of constant consciousness, because of the cannabis in your system. All right, and so sometimes we'll have a joint in the contest, and we'll say, "Oh, that's maintenance dose." Right, just keep going. But also,
maintenance dose.
Right, but then there'll be those that actually just lift you right out.
Yeah.
And you say, "Oh, now that's a special one."
You
have your plateau, and then boom, you get raised above
boom,
that plateau.
Straight, boom, bole,
Bambole. Bole. So anyway, the idea is that this is the place where the social and the spiritual use of cannabis has started, and we want to bring that idea back. The avenue that worked in the United States was to emphasize the medicinal. Right, the medicinal uses of it, and now we've gotten more and more and more evidence. Every week there's new evidence of something that cannabis. Someone was just telling me about this incredible scientist who was making these pharmaceutical drugs to cure cancer and epilepsy and Alzheimer's and stuff like that. And after a while realized that whatever drug he made, it only was able to treat and help a few people, a certain low percentage. And now he's decided, wow, I want to go and use cannabis, because cannabis actually has a broad spectrum, and it also has effect on many, 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 many people. But you have to get the dose, and now we're getting more and more scientific about the balance of THC and CBD and CBN and so on. And so we've talked about that, and that's what we call the entourage effect.
Yeah.
If there's 400 ingredients in a cannabis flower, right, it's all the ratio and balance of those. And so if we find the ones that are perfect for this disease or perfect for that disease because of the balance of the elements, then we're really getting onto the science of it. See?
But if I had to give you a choice of Manali cream,
yes,
and a very popular strain in America, I don't know, because I'm sure you've smoked everything.
Why would I have to choose? Can I do both?
Which one would you do first?
Which one I do first?
Yeah.
I might do the flower first.
Okay.
And then the Manali. See, Manali cream is the cream of the crop of the cannabis up in Manali, and basically they just pull on each branch. Is what I understand about it. They pull on each branch and then scrape that off.
Yeah.
And on the cream, it's actually from the living plant.
Yeah. I'm sure the guys in India would also want to know, like, where's the best place you've inhaled as best smokable you've had in India?
Oh, in India.
Yeah.
Well,
there's no sensimilla here.
One of the few.
Well, the Kumbh Mela.
Kumbh Mela.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best stuff is there.
Yeah.
Right. And then also the other place to get the best cannabis, really the best, charas.
Yeah.
Goa.
Goa.
Absolutely.
Have you heard of Mandavalli?
No.
Ah, okay.
What's that?
Oh, no, yeah. I'm sure you'll hear about it sometime.
Okay, I see. No, because, I'll just say it, because of so many people were smuggling cannabis or charas out of India.
Yeah.
It came out of Goa. So in Goa there was always the best stuff that we had, and we'd get a tola. Yeah. Like that.
Yeah.
And what was that? I don't know. 50 rupees or something like that for a tola.
Oh my, that's a good days, yeah.
And then we smoked chillums, although Nikki and I would always smoke what we say pure.
Pure.
We'd have
that's
a little
virgin
tiny
joint,
pipe.
they call it. Yeah, with no mixing.
Well, no, we were just in a pipe.
Okay.
Right, just a chunk of charas in a pipe, and we'd smoke without mixing with tobacco, you see.
Okay. But what's some other ways you can smoke hash without mixing tobacco? I've heard about that bottle technique.
The bottle technique?
Yeah, you keep a ball of hash on a pin. You light the hash, you put a bottle on top of it.
Oh.
And then you let it do its thing.
I see. Okay.
And
this is emergency action when you're totally strung out and you can't. There's nothing else to do.
Yeah, useful. Right? Yeah.
Right. That's when you really. Because what we used to do in the old days is we'd take a toilet paper tube.
Oh yeah.
and take the aluminum out of a cigarette pack
Mhm.
and put it on and put some holes in that and then put the little hash on top of that and
Yeah.
we'd have our little pipe.
Yeah, we can become an engineer. With
Yeah,
this,
you have to
with
be
this,
with it
take this
because
around.
and
Yeah.
that was when I first came to India in 1970, right? That's
Yeah.
what we would do.
Yeah, those are good old days. I remember those days.
Oh, you weren't even born yet in 1970.
No, I just I retained my youth with a lot of
Oh, so you're
Ayurveda.
actually 60 years old? Is that it?
68 actually.
Ah, 68 actually.
8 years because of CBD.
Okay.
I'm also wondering, in India, what's the best munchies, as per se, you would have if you were in India?
Munchies?
Munchies
Ooh, that's a tough one.
that you've had in person.
Oh, I don't know. You kind of sprung that question on me.
Yeah.
I'm not so sure.
Or like a favorite dish you like to indulge in after you've indulged in.
Oh,
You know what I'm saying?
well, yeah, I do know what you're saying, but I
Yeah.
mean, actually, even though I haven't been up to par lately,
Yeah.
but my favorite is South Indian food. South
Yeah.
Indian thali or
Yeah.
masala dosa.
Yeah, masala
is
dosa,
great. Now, that's-
MD.
Oh, that's the
Remember
best.
that?
That's the best, right? When
Yeah.
you're stoned for sure. Yeah, because then you
Yeah.
get in with your hands and all that. Sort of
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, I think on a banana leaf.
Oh, no, that's the best.
No,
When
we
you
can
do a
afford
thali-
plates in India. It's just that it's healthy
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, I just
Yeah.
have to say that.
No, you serve on the banana leaf, and then
Yeah.
actually they say that when the banana leaf gets hot from the
Yeah.
food, it adds flavor to
Yeah.
the food. It adds a savory richness
Yeah.
to the food.
And then you retain a lot of youth.
right.
Yeah.
So anything else you want to say here before we wrap this up? Do you have any particular?
Yes, I'm looking forward to do the next episode with Swami when I come down to America,
Okay.
which is going to be in June.
All right.
I'm sure we can make a beautiful video that time.
Oh yes, we'll do.
Yes.
We'll do that. Yeah,
And
for
we'll
sure.
spread the love in Chennai with Swami Select.
The other thing I want to say
I want
about
a lot of your blessings for my shows, my
Yeah.
stand-up shows.
But I want to say something also about, we talked about the medicinal thing,
Yeah.
but in India also you have the definite spiritual reference in the Rig Veda.
Yeah.
The Rig Veda talks about soma.
Right.
I mean, right from the second or third page of the Rig Veda, it's talking about soma juice, and so on.
Yeah.
And I'm absolutely convinced that soma is bhang.
It's bang.
Is bhang.
Yeah.
And that's what they were drinking.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, because they talk about grinding it with the
Yeah,
stones and so
yeah.
on, and that's the way you make it, that's the way you express it, as they say.
Right,
They
right.
talk about how it's got sticks and stems, they talk about how it's gold and purple and green and all these things, and you know, when it's harvest time in cannabis, it does turn purple and gold and green and so on.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so I'm absolutely convinced that this that soma, the famous soma drink that people have tried to figure out how they made it, there's no reason to figure it out. You can just do bhang.
This is too bang. Just too bang.
Just do bhang, but be careful with bhang. It can be
Yeah.
very, very, very stunning.
I saw.
Cassie made some bhang. It was like I was an out-of-body experience for about 4 or 5 hours. So.
Yeah.
But it, in the end, it's
It's
just
bang. It's not a bong.
no, it's
Yeah,
bhang,
it's
right?
bhang,
Not a bong,
yeah.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Bong is for smoking.
Yeah,
Bhang
bhang
is
is-
BHANG.
Yeah.
So, but it was like this was an out-of-body experience, which was actually, it was completely safe.
Yeah.
It was a little strange to begin with. Oh, where
Yeah.
am I, right?
It's slow.
Yeah, right. You're just
So,
cruising through the atmosphere.
had someone I knew who was meant to take one bang, but he put 13. Yeah, it was quiet. He had a great time. He looked Pacific.
All right. So here we go. I guess that's it then.
Yes.
I mean, I'm sure there's a lot more we could talk
Yes,
about.
we
But
go
for,
forever.
For one, anyway, great.
Thank you so much, Swami.
And thank you for hosting us. It's been just wonderful to
Of course,
to-
anytime. Please,
All right, and
please.
we'll look forward to seeing you in California.
Yes, see you
All
in
right,
Cali.
thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Yeah, Om Namah Shivaya.